This is not a bot. Well, I guess it might be, but this is splashing, one of the most AFK training methods you can do in Old School RuneScape. With splashing, you can earn XP rates of up to 60,000 magic XP per hour without even being at your computer or phone. And today, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about splashing, from the gear, XP rates, and the cost. And I'm doing this so you can put in as minimal effort as possible into your magic training. Let's go! But before we get into it, be sure to drop a like and comment to help me out in the YouTube algorithm. Thanks! So what is splashing? Splashing is simply bringing your magic attack bonus so low at most -64 that you can't even hit a 1, and then you engage in combat with a monster or rodent that also can't even hit a 1. It's really pathetic. But this training method takes advantage of the fact that unlike ranged and melee, with magic, even if you hit a 0, you still gain XP for casting the spell. This allows us to AFK and gain magic XP for up to 20 minutes with 0 risk and nearly 0 effort. After 20 minutes, your character will stop auto-retaliating, and you simply just need to click on the monster or rodent that you are splashing on to continue. That's it, one click every 20 minutes, but you do have to have the right gear. So we need to achieve a -64 or lower magic attack bonus, and we're going to do that by using specific gear. And the gear you want to use is dependent on whether you are free to play or a member. So for free to play, it's pretty straightforward. First, you'll want any full plate armor set, such as bronze, mithril, rune, and yes, you can mismatch, and yes, you can even use trimmed or gilded plate armor if you want to stand out. And having the full helm, plate body, plate legs, and kite shield equipped will bring our magic attack bonus to -65. Now, there's a fork in the road. If you have 40 range, you can equip green D-hide van braces to bring your magic down another 10. And this will allow you to use an elemental staff, which will bring your magic attack bonus back up by 10, but we are still under the -64 that we need. And using the elemental staff will help us cut costs quite a bit by saving runes, as they provide an infinite amount of their respective runes. But if you are free to play and you do not have 40 range, you will have to skip the van braces and get a cursed goblin staff from Django and Draenor Village. And this staff provides no magic attack bonus, but still allows you to auto-cast your spells, but with no cost-saving feature. Now, let's move on to some members gear. Achieving -64 magic in members leaves you a lot more options, and opens up the door to the dual elemental combination staves like the Mist, Dust, and Smoke battle staves, which if you decide to use will save you even more runes in GP. I'll go over a few things you can swap out if you don't have 40 range, but the simplest option is just to use the same setup as free to play, throw on either a cursed amulet of magic or whatever boots you got from the Stronghold of Security, and also bring one of the 3 combination staves. The combination staves allow you to bring a setup where, for example, you're using Fire Strike but you only consume Mind runes, or Fire Blast and only consume Chaos runes, instead of also consuming Fire and or Air runes, and this will significantly reduce our costs. But the combination staffs do require level 30 magic and attack to equip, and they also will raise your magic attack bonus, but luckily with members we have some more options. If you don't have the 40 range for van braces, you can swap in the granite shield and helm if you do have 50 defense and strength, and another option is to swap in the fighting torso, which only requires 40 defense to equip, which you get from Barbarian Assault, and there's a guide coming soon on that. And there is one more advantage to splashing in members if you can afford it. You can use the 400 million GP Harmonized Nightmare Staff to get the most XP per hour possible, as this staff can autocast normal spells faster than any other staff. However, you will not get any of the rune saving features that you would get from elemental and dual elemental combination staff, so this will boost your XP rates by about 20%, however this will also increase your cost by quite a bit, and I probably wouldn't recommend it if you care about your cash stack, but the option is there. So now, let's go over the XP rates and cost. But I'm not going to go over every single spell, as the wiki has a nice page for that, and I'll drop a link to that in the description if you want to check it out. But these are the most common spells you should use on your AFK journey to 99 magic. If you're at level 1 magic, you will only have access to Wind Strike, so you'll need to start with Wind Strike. Wind Strike can earn you 6600 XP per hour, with each experience point costing 1.45 GP with the Cursed Goblin Staff, 0.55 GP with the Staff of Air, and the same cost with the combination staff. And I'd recommend using Wind Strike all the way to level 13 when you unlock Fire Strike. Fire Strike has the absolute best GP to XP ratio, earning you 13,800 XP per hour, and each experience point costing 2.43 GP with the Cursed Goblin Staff, 1.23 GP with the Staff of Fire, and 0.26 GP with the Smoke Battle Staff. And during the Fire Strike grind, you will hit level 30 magic and you will unlock the combination staves. Granted, you already have level 30 attack, so now is the time to switch to that Smoke Battle Staff. And some people choose to use Fire Strike every time they splash, all the the way to 99 as it is very cost effective and the XP per hour isn't half bad for AFKing. But if you're in more of a rush to do your magic training, you can pay more to speed it up. And when you reach level 35, you can switch to Firebolt, which will earn you 27,000 XP per hour and each experience point costing 6.08 GP with the Cursed Goblin Staff, 5.2 GP with the Staff of Fire, and 4.53 GP with the Smoke Battle Staff. And once you reach level 59 magic, you will unlock Fire Blast, which can earn you 41,400 XP per hour, with each experience point costing 6.46 GP with Cursed Goblin Staff, 5.74 GP with the Staff of Fire, and 5.16 GP with the Smoke Battle Staff. And then once you hit 75 magic, you can start casting Fire Wave, which can earn you 51,000 magic XP per hour, with each experience point costing 8.37 GP with the Cursed Goblin Staff, 7.55 GP with the Staff of Fire, and 6.96 GP with the Smoke Battle Staff. And you guessed it, at level 95 you can start casting Fire Surge, which will earn you 60,600 magic XP per hour, with each experience point costing 8.05 GP with the Cursed Goblin Staff, 7.07 GP with the Staff of Fire, and 6.38 GP with the Smoke Battle Staff. And Fire Surge is the last spell and you can use it all the way up to level 99 magic. And you probably noticed a trend here, we're only using fire spells. And the reason for this is fire spells all have the best GP to XP ratio when compared to their earth, water, and air counterparts. And in addition, if you're using combination staffs, you won't need to carry around 3 different expensive combination staffs and you can just always use the Smoke Battle Staff. Now, let's move on to some splashing locations. There are so many different places you can splash in Old School RuneScape. Some common areas where you'll find splashers is the Lumbridge Castle basement, just outside the castle, and Port Serum. And what do all these places have in common? They have monsters that you can engage in combat with that never hurt you. Outside and inside the castle, it's rats and spiders, and at Port Serum, it's seagulls. Future Zazzy here, so admittedly I haven't splashed in quite a while, but I just did some fact checking on the information I'm providing in this video, and I guess Jagex removed XP gain for splashing in Lumbridge to keep this horrendous training method away from where new players spawn. So the easiest and best place is Port Serum and the seagulls there. And to get to Port Serum, you can just run straight west from Lumbridge, you'll run through Draenor Village, and then you'll end up at Port Serum. And there are many locations with level 1 monsters that you can splash on, and I'll leave a link to the wiki which lists them all. But there is one more place you can take advantage of splashing, and that's Castle Wars, and you can use splashing in Castle Wars to accumulate Castle Wars tickets to AFK your way to a green log. Wow, we really have become incredibly lazy. So to do this, you will need an alt if you have no friends, or a friend if you happen to have one or two. Shout out to my homie ZensCape, he only let me splash on him for a shout out. His channel has no videos, but maybe he'll actually upload something someday besides channel art. Now you both want to head to Castle Worlds in an empty world in your best splashing gear. And you will need to alter your gear to not include a helmet, as you need to wear the provided helmet in Castle Wars, which doesn't deduct any magic attack bonus. So if you're free to play without 40 ranged using a Cursed Goblin Staff, you will need to throw on the Cursed Amulet of Magic and your Stronghold Boots, fancier fighting, and this will put you at negative 65 magic. And if you are members wanting to use a combination staff, it may not be possible with some pures, but I'm wearing the Van Braces which require 40 range, and I'm also throwing on the Toxket Seal Shield into the mix, which has the same stats as the Granite Shield but only requires 60 defense. But also, if you're just here for Castle Wars tickets and you're struggling to get the negative 64 magic attack bonus, don't worry. Just get your magic attack bonus as low as possible and be sure to wear the Cursed Amulet of Magic, as it has a negative 80% magic damage effect. And then you can just use Air or Fire Strike and you will hit your friend or alt sometimes, but it won't be for a lot of damage and it won't be very often, and your friend more than likely will regenerate quicker than you can hurt them. So once you're at Castle Wars with a friend and the appropriate gear, join opposite teams and wait for the games to begin. Then one player needs to quickly score a point by running to the opposite team's castle, grabbing the flag and returning it to their team's castle. And the player who scores the point will be the one that receives the majority of the Castle Wars tickets. And now once someone has scored, you just find each other on the map and start splashing on one another. Very intensive OSRS gameplay we got here. If you are the player that is scoring, you will average around 8.1 tickets every hour. And to greenlog Castle Wars, you need 800 tickets, meaning you will need to splash for about 98 hours to greenlog Castle Wars. Good stuff. And that's going to do it for today's splashing guide. I hope you learned something new about being lazy in Old School RuneScape, and I really do hope you enjoyed. And if you did, don't forget to drop a like, comment, and consider subscribing. Anyways, that's all for me today, guys. Till next time, peace.